In this, we will now use, I told you we have the two methods. So for the first one, we'll use netca. So netca is a GUI tool. So to run netca, we'll just enter netca, netca. Okay, so see, it comes up here. So we want to configure our listener. It has these three: listener configurations, naming method configuration, local net service configuration. So these are the three that we are concerned with. So let's configure the listener first. So listener configuration, say next. Yes, we want to add a listener. Next. So that's the default name. So let's just give it our listener name. We want to do our SID is Oracle test, right? Or RCLTST. That's our SID. So we want to give the listener that name, ORCLTST. Next. So that's the default protocol TCP, and we want to leave it as that. And click next. So now it is asking us if we want to use the port number 1521. Yes, we want to use that one. So it will tell us that another one was using it here. We'll just continue. Yes. Okay. So would you like to configure another listener? This has already been configured. No. We say no. Okay. So next. So that one has been configured. So now we want to configure our naming methods also, because remember we moved those files also. So we click naming methods here and click next. So because we moved the files, so they are not there. Remember, and the methods we said we were going to consider, we are going to deal with this local naming method. So click on it and click this to move it to the next, and easy connect. So these are the two methods that we're going to look at here. So we move them and click next. Naming method configuration complete. Click next. So that is completed again. So we want to again give our, configure our tns name.aura file. So we click that local net service and click next. Yes, we want to add. Select what you want to add and click next. So our service name, as our service name, we can give so our service name, remember, it's just Oracle test, oracletest.com. Let's just give it that, oracletest.com. oracletest.com. Service name oracletest.com, and we want to use a TCP protocol. Click next. Then our host name, we know the host name is sadija.com. You have your own host name, but mine is Sadija. So sadija.com, make sure that is correct. Click next. So you can verify that on Oracle. So yeah, so if we want to perform test, let's just try. Normally this test will fail, but that doesn't mean anything. We can work around that. We can fix that. So yeah, perform test. So let's change login here. So you see it says connecting or it fails. So the TNS fails, but that doesn't mean anything. We click next. Okay. So our next service name, the next service name is Oracle test. I just want to make this capital here. The service name is ORCLTST. That's what we want to click next. So the configuration is complete. We don't want to configure another one. We'll click no. So net service configuration complete. Click next. So we've configured all these three files. Then now finish. Then we now click finish. So I just want to show you right now, if we go to we're already in the admin. If I do ls, the files are back. Remember we moved these files. Remember these files before. This is the new location, the NL location. Now we have another listener. They are back. See, right there. We have them, all of them. We have them back. So that means we've configured. We can get into the files before we didn't get into this. So let's just VI into the listener. Let's say listener.aura. Let's just, so that's the file right there. So the listener, we didn't look into it. We just a bit before. One thing that when you configure the listener through the netca, it brings this extra line here. It doesn't mean anything, but that's why a lot of people don't like to use it, but it's okay. So this is the listener file. Remember, we've just changed it to our listener Oracle test now, and that's the information. The protocol is TCP, host name, host is sadija.com, and that is our port number. So that's our listener. So let's exit from this. So let's VI into TNS names again and see that. So you see, so the TNS name, as I told you, has all the information of the listener plus the service name. So that's the service name, oracletest.com. So that's the TNS name.aura file. Let's exit to that again. And we can again VI into SQL. See, all it shows you is the two names, TNS names and Easy Connect. This TNS names is the same as the local service, local naming methods, that's the TNS names, and Easy Connect. So those are the two methods that we can use to connect. Those are what is qualified. So we exit that here again. Okay, this shows that the files are there. So let's try again now to log into our database or to again start up our listener, just to show that. So we will then, let's just start listener. We have that. So let's start the listener. Say it is started already. Say status. So you see, it still says the listener supports no service, but this is because we have to just register it, because we've given the TNS name a new TNS name. We have to register that and just bounce the database. So I'll just log into the database, log into my database, and then run this command: alter system set local underscore listener, local underscore listener equals, then we give it our listener name, which is orcltst, listener name, and then we say scope equals boot. So that's the command: alter system set local listener Oracle test. That's what the listener we want to use now. So that is altered. So if we now bounce the database again and log, you will see, you should say ready. So we just bounce the database. Let's say shut down immediate. So start up. So if I exit here now and run listener status, you see it is back. It says Oracle test ready. So we have reconfigured the listener again. So you see, so that's how you do it. So now we'll just go through how to configure these files through using net manager. You see that it has more options. So say netmgr. So that's the window for netmgr. We want to always expand where it says local here. So these are the three options. Of course, listener is for configuring the listener.aura file information service name. We know that's configuring the TNS name and profile. So we'll go through the listener first. So it is already there. Remember, we have a listener. If we want to weaken, I will just delete this again and do another one. So I will delete this listener. Yes, we want to delete that. Okay, so we've deleted that. So click on listener here and add. That's how you add a listener. So I want my listener to be Oracle test. I want it to be Oracle test. Say okay. Okay, so that's the Oracle test. So Oracle test, those are the locations. Okay, I want to add a address listener location. Okay, so it gives you, it is more simple to deal with. It gives you the protocol with its TCP host name already, Sadija, the port number. So that's the address, and just want to make sure here general parameters that it says listener name Oracle test. That's all we need there. So that's all we need for listener. The listener is set up. So we come to profile. So for profile, that is the names, the names that we can use to connect to the database. We know already, we've said is the TNS names and the easy connect. We can take it back and put it, but that's just, I mean, we don't need to do that because that's just one step process. So that's done. So if we come to naming service naming here, which is where we configure our TNS name.aura file, TNS name. So I will delete this one again and do another one. So click on that and delete. So now click on service naming and add another one. So I want to add again. So net service name we said always is Oracle test, right? ORCLTST, that's the net service name. So the protocol is TCP, that's what we want, which is an internet protocol. So host name is Sadija, sadija.com, and the port number is 1521. I want to maintain that one. Next, my service name, which is that the Oracle test.com, ORCLTST. So that's my service name. And again, we can test it again. It will fail, but just to show you how we do that, change login and use HR. So it's still a failed, but that is it's normal. As I said, we can always get over that. So and finish. So just to make sure here, we've configured the listener, which we know the information of the listener. That's the listener name, listener location, TCP, Sadija. Mind you, this is what we did here is configuring a listener to register to listen to request dynamically. This is registering a listener dynamically. If we wanted to register the listener statically, then we'll come here and add the database. So let's say if we add the database information here, that means for every database we should add all the database informations, all their names and locations here. So statically, I mean, for every database we'll come here and do that. So that's registering it statically, but we don't want that. We want the listener to dynamically search for the database and then register it with the client. So that's why we will not configure that. We'll just leave that because it's dynamic registration that we want. We make sure everything here is okay. Then we know our naming method is okay. Click that and make sure it's okay. That's Oracle test. Make sure everything is okay. So if all that is okay, click File and Save Configurations. File, Save Configurations, and exit. So when you exit there, if we log into our database again, it's the same because it's the same configurations that we did. It would just it's the same because it will show status already again. So let's just exit here and try to show listener status. Okay, let's start the listener. Okay, so suppose next service, let's just bounce the database again. We've done some changes, so just log into my database again. Log into my database again and run that register it again because I've changed I deleted the TNS name and the listener and did it again. So just alter system set local underscore listener equals and scope. Okay, alter system set local listener Oracle test scope equals that. Alter and we bounce our database again. So then start up. So exit. So if I exit here again now and then into listener status, you see it's back because I registered because we changed it before, so we have to register it again. So it's an instance Oracle test status ready and it's one handler. So here we've learned how to configure the listener, the listener.ora file, the tns name.ora file, and the sqlnet.ora file through using both Oracle configuration assistant netca and net manager. So we will now just learn about the different naming methods. So I will again log into the database. So as I told you, we've seen that we have two methods that we can use to log into the database. We have the TNS names or the local naming method and the easy connect. So the way we log in using the TNS to prove that we are logging in through using TNS names, we'll just do TNS ping because it allows you to log in just using the seed, which is just the system identifier. So if I just exit here, so if I say ping, sorry, TNS ping, so you see, so TNS ping, when we use TNS ping, just the system identifier, so it shows you that TNS name adapter, use TNS name adapter to resolve this alias, and use zero seconds, so it shows you all the information of the the listener and everything, how we get there. So to connect to the database using the TNS name, so we just log into the database again and say CONN. So we want to connect to CONN, and we connect using our HR user HR at ORCL TST. It should show connected, so that means we can connect through the TNS names. So TNS names allow you to connect to your database just using the user and your password and just your system identifier or your Oracle seed. So I'll just exit here again and show you and do TNS ping. So using the Easy Connect allows you to connect using your host name and your service name. You can use your host name or your service name, or your service name anywhere. You can use your service name. You can also in any place that you can use your host name. You can also use your IP address. So using the Easy Connect, you can you can connect to the database using your host name or service name, and also your host name or IP address, and also your service name. So let's connect here using our host name and our service name. So host name we know is sadija.com / our service name is oracletest.com, right? Oracle test. So you see, so it says use Easy Connect adapter to resolve the aliases, and it shows again all the path, the information of the listener and how we get there. It says use 10 seconds. So if we log into our database again, when we log into our database again, we can connect using that again. We can connect to the database using CONN HR column HR at again the same our host name and service name. So I'll just copy it here, our host name and service name. Okay, see at sadija.com.